Welcome to solverfy.
In this problem, we have to use mathematical proof to show the equivalence of 4 different propositions. Now, this might be an introduction to proofs for you or the first time that you're doing proofs. So basically what we're going to be doing is showing a logical list of conclusions that lead us to essentially proving an original statement that we rounded up with that we were given. So in this problem, again, we're proving the equivalence of 4 propositions using the truth of a biconditional relationship. So what we need to do is we have to show that P1, P2, P3, and P4, which are these arbitrary propositions that were given, are equivalent using the biconditional propositions that look like this. So P1, if and only if, P4, P2, even if and only if, P3, and P1, if and only if, P3. Now this arrow is a biconditional arrow, and what it means is, you've probably heard, is if and only if. Okay, so remember, this will help us along with our proof that A, if and only if B, and B, if and only if C, this implies that A, if and only if C, and A, if and only if B is equivalent to saying B, if and only if A. Okay, so remember, P1, if and only if P3, and P3, if and only if P2, this logically follows that P1, if and only if P2. Essentially, what you can think about, another way you can think about this, is that P1 is a biconditional relationship with P3, and P3 is a biconditional relationship to P2. This must mean that P1 has a biconditional relationship to P2 using these biconditional relationships. So again, we can say as P2 if and only if P1, and P1 if and only if P4, then this must mean P2 if and only if P4. And then again, we can conclude something further. P3 if and only if P1, and P1 if and only if P4, this must mean that P3 if and only if P4. So what we just did is we proved the equivalence of P1, P2, P3, and P4, these arbitrary propositions that were given, and then we use these biconditional relationships between all of these propositions to prove that these propositions are actually equivalent to one another.